Greetings. On yesterday's livestream, Engineers Beta release date was announced. As expected, we will be able to download it and play on Thursday or tomorrow. So we are just one day away. No exact time, obviously, and there might be some delays. Now let's take a look one more time at what we can expect. Beta will come in two phases. Phase 1 will allow access to some things like engineers. Phase 2 is called Mayhem and will allow everyone access to everything at almost no cost. It's done intentionally so we can test everything. It's very good news because I did not want to grind my way in beta. But before I go deeper into engineers, I want to say that there are several very good changes like ice mining. And with ice mining, obviously we'll see points of interest called resource extraction sites, meaning we will have another place to bounty hunt, and ice asteroids look gorgeous, especially in starlight. There will be changes done to silent running because devs said that current behavior is unintentional. It was never meant for silent run to last for 10 or even more minutes. And biggest change is that in silent running, firing weapons will increase heat within your ship and potentially make your ship visible to enemy sensors and overheat like crazy. So your weapons will generate much more heat. To me it never made sense that you can silent run and use weapons like plasma or railguns. So in 2.1/1.6 update I expect silent runners will have to use low heat weapons like cannons, multi-cannons. It makes sense. Let's move to loot and crafting. It works through upgrades to modules by collecting resources in space and taking them to engineers. All module upgrades are legal in all systems. Resource can be salvaged from destroyed ships found at settlements, mined, located at beacons in space. Materials can be awarded from missions. Some are only awarded from missions. Engineer bases all look unique. Some engineers will be harder to meet and will offer more unique mods. Currently there are 54 engineer blueprints available with 5 grades each. Higher the grade, better the mod. So it looks like we will be able to mod almost every single module in the game. For the moment we have 11 weapons, I think. 3 lasers, 3 cannons, 3 explosive weapons, missile, torpedo, mine, and railgun with plasma on top of it. So imagine around 35-40 mods, different mods to non-weapon modules. Engineers will offer also some limited outfitting services. I am not sure if those modules will be already modded or not. I hope they will, because then you can get some stuff without grinding. And non-weapon upgrades also include jump range, fuel saving, reduced power usage, mods for sensors, thrusters. Engineers can provide upgrades for power plant, shield cell banks can be modified like spin up time, heat. And you can't be totally locked out of engineer base unless you shoot at their base, and even then it's only temporary. You can mod power play weapons so you can have very nice combination. Retribution laser can stack with thermal shock, but in my opinion most fun will be feedback cascade imperial hammer. I didn't quite get what Sandro Sammarco meant by controlled randomness, because it sounded like random constant to me. If you have a random, you always have a range. Wider the range, harder to get what you want. And if you have 6 to 8 stats you want, take a wild guess how many resources you will be wasting just to have stats you wish. And as we all want to have maximum out of our ships, I expect everyone will go for grade 5 and as close to best possible scenario. And don't worry if you lose your ship, because ship insurance will cover that. So if you have enough money, you will be buying back exactly same module you had before. NPC ships, including system authority ships, can use also modified weapons and modules. And RAM scans also are fixed in 2.1/1.6 update. Took them long enough. There are also changes to missiles. Damage to shields increased, guidance system improved, splash damage to hull and modules within blast radius. So basically almost all external modules can be hit by missiles. I think there are 2 exceptions, cargo hatch and cockpit. And some internal modules might be hit thanks to mods to missiles. Now let's take a look at video provided by devs where they show how the mod process actually is happening. When you dock at Engineer's base, you see Engineer's workshop, where you can see his allegiance, history, and specializations. The Dweller can modify power distributors and burst lasers. Next screen will ask you to choose module, and you will see right away if that module is modified before or not. Then you can see all available mods and grades. You can see primary effects range from to secondary effects, cost, micro resource and commodities. If you have enough resource, you can preview outcome. And for shielded power distributor, you can see blue range increase in integrity and red range increase in mass. Obviously you want to generate as close to right side as possible. So as small mass as possible and as high integrity as possible. Now you can generate and you will be warned. Generating this modification will cost resource regardless of whether or not you choose to accept the result. So if you want something very specific, you will be wasting a lot of resource. As you can see from stats right away, generated item is quite bad, because both stats are closer to minimum than maximum. If minimum limit is 174, you get only 181, and it's almost 70 less than you could get. Same goes to mass. In this case, mass is not that important, so I would go only for integrity. And as secondary effect, you gain 1% in engines capacity and 5% in weapons capacity, which is good. But still, if you want integrity, you would redo this mod. Many times probably. But even while it's far away from perfect, it's better than stock variant, so you should apply it. For burst lasers, Dweller only has up to grade 2 mods. Again, you should pick up which module you want to upgrade, and you will see again primary effects, secondary effects, and cost for each mod. This long range mod only has one positive effect, maximum range increased. Damage per second, damage, distributor draw, mass all decreased, and power draw, if you are lucky, you will keep same. As a secondary effect, you can see this blueprint has slightly positive side effects, and there's 75% chance of a special effect. In this case, result is slightly better than average. You get 3943 out of 4200, increase in your range. You lose 7% damage, damage per second, distributor draw, 1% in mass, which is not that much, and 3% in power draw. As a secondary effects, you get 2% in armor piercing and increase in thermal load by 5%. And as special effect, you get concordant sequence modification that causes weapon strikes to temporarily enhance regeneration rate of a wingman shield at the cost of increased heat generation. It's not same as regeneration sequence, so we have 2 healing lasers for our wingmans. You can apply this mod, discard, or try again. And now imagine if you want to have some module close to perfect, if it has like 6-8 stats, how many attempts it will take for you to create, how many resources it will require. Now let's move to more engineer modifications. And let's start with phasing sequence beam laser. A small amount of thermal damage is able to bleed through shields and attack the target's hull directly. So with this weapon you can pass enemy shields, pretty cool. And also, as you can see, you can mod gimbaled weapons as well. That probably means that we can mod also turrets. Base weapon for phasing sequence is burst laser, but it looks like we are not limited only to burst lasers. There's also a new mod to torpedoes called mass lock, and they will do exactly what name says. They will mass lock ships which they will hit. So if enemy is charging their frameshift drive and you fire this torpedo, you will have some extra seconds to finish him. Torpedoes in general are getting slower, but a lot more powerful. And last mod in this case is for mines. New upgrade called Shift Lock Canister. Mines that will send your frameshift drive module offline. Basically, if any ship hits this mine, frameshift drive will go offline and it will take some time for this module to come back online. Obviously, for mines to work you have to be in front of enemy, so it seems that this weapon will be used more effectively as a defensive tactic and not offensive. Anyway, good luck getting in front of trading cutter and spamming these mines. So there are a lot of stuff for us to play with. All in all, there are many promising things, some more than others. It will be interesting to see how devs will balance all weapons, especially feedback cascade. But now I want to touch several issues which I was hoping in Engineers will be fixed, but they are not. So if you don't want to hear anything bad about Elite Dangerous, this is your chance to close the video. And I will be speaking about wasting player time. We all play games because we like to do different activities. I mean, somebody likes to explore, somebody likes to fight, somebody likes to trade, pirate, somebody wants to participate in community goals, somebody likes to do missions, somebody likes to flip systems, somebody even cares for his power. All is fine. What is not fine, at least not with me, that there are game mechanics that prevents us from playing the game. There are game mechanics in place that only wastes our time. I don't speak about grinding. I can grind all day. Hell, I can grind all day and all night long. What I can't do is drive or fly back and forth for hours and hours and hours just because there is no game mechanics that would help me in not wasting my time that way. First of all, ship delivery is confirmed. Great. No ETA. Awful. I hope it will come this year. Anyone who ever had to fly 200-300 light years in his combat Fedlands or Corvette knows exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know why anyone should experience something like that if all he wants is to fly to nearest community goal and have fun. We had power play last year which forced players to move their home base. I still have like 6 ships at my very first home base because I don't see myself flying for 5 hours back and forth. Second issue is with module storage at stations. I was hoping that with mods we'll be able to store modules at stations. It's also confirmed and it will come same time as ship delivery. Again, hopefully it will be this year. I was stupid enough to get most power play modules and I hit ship limit at Founders World. Now I don't know what to do. Well, it's my problem. I don't know if many of you have same issues, but if devs are too lazy to implement module storage, they should take off ship limit at station. Increase it to 50 ships. It would solve a lot of problems. But the biggest issue I have is with 300 material limit. There's also 100 limit to data materials, but if you want a perfect module and that module has like 6-8 stats, everyone who played Division knows how it works. Controlled random, uncontrolled random, call whatever you want, but if there's a range for 6 stats and we want at least 4 of them to be closer to maximum, we will have to craft a lot, we will have to waste a lot of resource, and with 300 limit, we don't even know what materials we need for blueprints, but even when we will know. Just imagine, you want to have grade 5 overcharged weapon. Grade 3 costs you around 15 micro resource. Grade 5 I expect much more, so you will be able to get in one load, even if you get micro resources in correct proportions, which will never happen, around 10 to 20 attempts to craft. To get these 300 materials, you will have to drive around for hours and hours and leave on ground thousands of other materials. And when you finally are satisfied with this mod, you will want another mod. To put things in perspective, imagine that you want to have upgraded exploration ship and a combat ship. Imagine how many different modules you will have to mod. I would say around 20-25. And you will have to go and do again and again. You will leave thousands and thousands of materials, and you will know that these materials you will need later for other mods, but you can't take them. So in the end you will waste hundreds of hours instead of spending 2, 3, 4 times less time, only because there is a limit to materials. That's my opinion. So I really hope that they will lift that limit, or at least they make some storage space. Or another possibility, which actually I like a lot, is micro resource market. You can go there, sell your unneeded resources and buy what you need. But of course Frontier wants to have a huge time sink for players. I just really disagree on placing artificial limits on time sinks. It's boring enough to get them without limits. Why would you even make it more boring? In other games I actually like to walk around, explore and get some resources. But if by game design you are forced to leave thousands and thousands of resources behind, and you know that all these materials you need in future
It's really annoying.
But maybe that's just me, and everybody else loves to drive around for hours and hours, collect what they need for this moment, and leave all rest behind. And when they will need what they left, they will go and drive around for hours and leave other materials behind just to realize later that they need them now. I thought it's a game and not a job at factory. Fly safe, commanders.